boxing invariably makes headline news these days, and today is no exception. Anthony Joshua goes in against, Francis Ngannou, once of the MMA, but this is a fight. This is boxing, and Ngannou, remember, put Fury on the seat of his pants but couldn't beat him. Will Ngannou beat AJ today? And now we hear, Simon, further down the line, Mike Tyson, the great Mike Tyson, will fight Jake Paul, YouTuber turned fighter Jake Paul, as seemingly the third for crossover boxing matchup shows no sign of slowing up. That's not going to be in Saudi, though. These two, Tyson and Paul, scheduled to face each other at the 80,000 capacity AT&T Stadium, the home of the Dallas Cowboys, over in the States, on July the 20th. When you heard that, Simon, did you think, where is the sport of boxing going? What did you think?
I don't consider this to be the sport of boxing. I mean, I look at this and go, it is what it is. I mean, Jake Paul and his brother have made huge amounts of money from the digital footprint that they've been able to create, and this is a digital footprint fight. Yes, they'll sell it out to an audience because of the nature of the personality that Jake Paul has. It's about money. It's not about the sport of boxing. This is about a spectacle. This is about a circus.
Mike's 57.
Absolutely, and the last time we saw Mike Tyson go through was it with Roy Jones Jr.?
It was an exhibition one in 2020,
an exhibition, and this would be something similar.
Yeah,
and the name Mike Tyson brings such engagement with it. You know, his life's been rehabilitated. His career journey is, in terms of the way that people perceive him, from the circumstances that he got himself into prison with, to the fact that he became a world champion again and overcame adversity.
Is it safe, Simon, for him to go in the ring?
Tyson.
Yeah,
I think it's probably less safe for Jake Paul.
Really? Do you think so? He looks pretty handy to me.
Jake Paul?
Looks pretty handy, yeah?
Well, in comparison to perhaps you and I...
Well, he's 57 years of age.
Yeah, absolutely. But Mike Tyson...
He can't be the man he was.
No, of course he can't. But Jake Paul is not the man that Tyson ever was, in terms of... Mike Tyson is a professional fighter and still has that edge and attitude. And if you saw him in some of the pads when he was illustrating some of the stuff he was doing with Ngannou back in October.
Yeah.
But it's not a proper fight. It's simply a scenario where people are going to get paid an
I think these greats should
be
protected. I don't think he should be going into the ring. I think it blocks his
Jake
legacy.
Paul, if you were saying to me that he was going in against one of the current heavyweights, I'd say that's fine. But Jake Paul doesn't fight at that weight class, and Jake Paul is not a fighter of significant repute, despite the performance against Tommy Fury, who himself isn't one either.
But Simon, it all comes down to this: the fight will air live on Netflix, the streaming platform's first broadcast of a combat sports event. So you can imagine the number of eyes on the prize that night.
Oh, phenomenal!
I mean, it will be phenomenal.
Whatever way you look at it, it is a huge cash generator.
Yeah.
Simply the name Tyson appearing in conjunction with Sideshow Bob is a huge opportunity commercially. And so with that in mind, you have to admire it. You have to admire what Jake Paul has been able to achieve. The amount of money this kid has generated from the YouTube market has been phenomenal. And Mike Tyson, it's got nothing to do with the Saudis. They don't need the Saudis for this. It's got huge revenue generation opportunity. There'll be millions watching it.
Does this one wet your whistle? Because also in Saudi Arabia yesterday, while AJ and Ngannou were strutting about pre-fight today, Manny Pacquiao and Conor Benn came face-to-face in Saudi Arabia, as these two are set to have a showdown of their own later on in the year. Does that excite you, Simon? The prospect of Conor Benn against Manny Pacquiao? Again, an ageing Manny Pacquiao.
Well, yeah. I mean, and Manny Pacquiao that I thought had disappeared into politics, and that if you look in his last fights, he's struggled and no longer, been the Manny Pacquiao that we remember and wax lyrical about. I don't know. Again, it's a huge name for people to alight upon. Conor Benn and his journey back into some sort of validation and some sort of recognition, some sort of acceptance. I don't know. I'd like to see Conor Benn fighting people in his weight class that are relevant to this day's marketplace to build himself an opportunity to win a world title. Maybe this does this, but what it certainly does is it gets a lot of attention and it deflects from the other side of stuff that's going on with Conor. I'd like to see Conor fighting in his weight class, fighting people like maybe one of the Garcias or Keith Thurman or people of that nature.
He's currently banned. He's currently banned though, Simon, isn't he?
Well, he's able to fight in America. He's currently not able to fight on British shores.
Yeah.
So this would be a fight that happens in America. I don't see Conor Benn fighting in England against Manny Pacquiao. it's a Saudi Arabian or an American fight.
Yeah. I mean, the very fact that they were appearing in Saudi Arabia yesterday might be a hint that it might be there.
Likely.
But as you rightly say, Simon, what intrigue does it hold, to be quite honest? But Jake Paul against Mike Tyson, do not think for a moment that there won't be a massive worldwide audience for that. It's just that, is it for real?